All right, let's switch gears again and talk about Portland's protests. Here's some video that you might remember from last summer. This was pretty big at the time. Someone threw a Molotov cocktail into a crowd, and that crowd included a group of police officers. You can see the fire. Well, an Indiana man already charged with attempted aggravated murder in this case now faces federal charges. Malik Muhammad appeared in federal court today on explosives charges. The FBI arrested the 24-year-old on Friday after he had been released from custody on the state charges. And a note here, a group called the Portland Freedom Fund had posted his bail in this case. They had to raise 10% of his more than $2 million bail, which came out to about $212,000. Okay, on that note, let's bring in KGW's Kyle Aboshi, who's been following this case. So Kyle, there's a lot here, but first and foremost, who is this group and how did they come up with that much money?
The group is called the Portland Freedom Fund, and according to its organization, let me read, it's dedicated to reducing harms perpetuated against our Black, Brown, and Indigenous neighbors by the criminal justice system through posting bail so they may navigate their case from a position of freedom. The fund is supported through donations largely driven through social media, and the fund president tells the Oregonian it's posted bail for about 100 people since the beginning of last year.
Interesting. Okay, so back to the investigation. How did investigators figure out, especially in the chaos of these protests and these riots, how did they figure out that this was their suspect?
The investigation is fairly involved, and a lot of it is laid out in court papers. One clue that's really interesting, though, involved a Goodwill price tag. It was found on a growler used as a Molotov cocktail, according to investigators. Police, they subpoenaed the records from Goodwill, including surveillance video, which showed Muhammad and his girlfriend buying the growlers along with baseball bats. And then credit card records also back that up.
Wow, super interesting. Okay, last question for you. This guy's from Indiana. So what do we know about how he ended up here?
According to his mother, who I spoke with several weeks ago, Muhammad came to Portland last summer to join in the protest. Prior to that, he'd been organizing events in Indiana and eventually even made headlines for hugging a police lieutenant and met privately with Indiana's governor. But prosecutors say his intent in coming to Portland was more violent than that. They say they recovered guns in a trailer he was living in. Also, he posted really threatening messages on social media as well.
All right. A lot to follow in this case. Kyle Aboshi, we appreciate all the updates. Thank you so much.